This video introduces the consumer hardware reference for the Permissionless Software Foundation, which is a Pi 400. So this is a Raspberry Pi, which if you haven't heard of that, it's a mini computer that is built into the form factor of a keyboard. So here's a picture of it. It just looks like a keyboard, and it's got all these plugs on the outside, and it costs about $100. So what is it? It's a Raspberry Pi, which version 4, which is a little mini computer in a keyboard form factor. It's got 4 gigabytes of memory, although there is a 8 gigabyte version that is also available. It's got a quad-core 64-bit processor, built-in Wi-Fi, and it runs Ubuntu Linux. And it, as I mentioned before, it costs about $100. It's widely available internationally. It's available on Amazon.com. Again, $100 for this kit, which includes the keyboard, power supply, the HDMI monitor, a little getting started book, and a mouse. And it's also available through other places if you don't want to support a huge conglomerate like Amazon.com. A couple smaller outfits that would appreciate your money even more is Seed Studio with 3 E's. They also sell it, same price, same everything. And also Adafruit. They have the Raspberry Pi desktop kit. This is a small organization company that runs, so it's your money goes a lot further to support these sort of grassroots organizations that also sell these kits. It's the same price, so if you can avoid buying them on Amazon and buy it through these people, it's great. But let's get to the why. So that's how to get it. That's what it is. That's how much it costs. Why is this the reference hardware? And the reason is it's powerful enough to run all the front end and local back end software. I want to take a minute to really talk about this. So this is a blog post on the Permissionless Software Foundation website. So if you go to psfoundation.cash, click on the menu, go to blog, you can find this article called Realizing the Web3 Cache Stack. And all of our infrastructure, I'm going to switch to this bigger image, is split in, it's categorized into one of 3 categories. There's the global backend, there's the local backend, and there's the front end, which is the web page and the apps and the user interface that people actually play with. But then there's all this backend infrastructure that supports that. The Raspberry Pi 400 is capable of running everything above this IPFS network line. It's capable of running the local backend and the front end, so it makes it a great, inexpensive, standard piece of equipment that we can all come together on and work on for all the sort of the really interesting software. I have these videos in psfoundation.cash/video under the DevOps and infrastructure area. This talks about the global backend and how to set up that global backend. And the hardware reference there is discussed in this video, which is a desktop computer with 32 gigs of RAM. That's capable of running this backend stack, and it's very important that community members run. A few of us run these, and there are bounties to incentivize people to run these. But then in terms of the actual consuming of the blockchain to do all sorts of things like send encrypted messages, trade tokens, eventually one day I hope to see us build an uncensorable Craigslist so that the state can't get in between 2 people doing a peaceful trade, and we can have a very rich multimedia-like experience. The Raspberry Pi can run everything, again, above these lines. They can run the local backend and the front end. So it runs Ubuntu, which is the iOS, or the operating system that all the PSF software targets. We will never target Windows or iOS for deployment. Those are not free. There's things that state actors can do to prevent software from working on those operating systems. We're trying to stick to open hardware, open software, decentralized software that is very difficult for a state actor to somehow affect. And so Ubuntu is the target operating system that all of our software targets. And it's also great to and more secure to have a dedicated device for holding your crypto and working with code. So it's great to just get it off your Windows machine, get it off that iOS. For $100, you have this dedicated piece of hardware, and that's where your crypto lives. It's not as good as a hardware wallet. If you have a significant amount of money in crypto, you should store it on a hardware wallet. This is not a replacement for that. This is for storing $10 to $100 at a time and doing active development. So this is the hardware reference. If you run our software and you run into issues, then you can come and talk to us on the Telegram channels, and we will try to help you. There will be other people that have the exact same hardware and can replicate the exact same problems. And that's really the point of having a hardware reference, is that we're all on the same hardware, we're all on the same software, everything should work exactly the same for everybody. And that's how we are able to basically promote reliability and quality control in a decentralized organization where no one is actually paid to worry about these things. We can collectively manage these things because we're all coming from the same foundational piece of hardware and software.